Imagine a world in which the love you receive from others does not determine your level of happiness. A world in which the thoughts of your messages, the missed calls, and the longing looks do not control how you feel. This is a reality that you may live in right now, not a story from the distant past. That is precisely what the age-old philosophy of Stoicism, which has stood the test of time, tells us. It gives us the ability to achieve inner contentment and serenity independent of the outside world. But how is this connected to the need for someone to miss you? In the context of love and relationships, however, we frequently see ourselves yearning for the care and attention of others, thinking that this outside approval holds the secret to our contentment. However, Stoicism presents an unconventional strategy. We unintentionally become attractive and, strangely, more likely to be missed when we put an emphasis on self-improvement, encourage emotional independence, and appreciate each moment without attachment. We delve further into the Stoic method of living and loving in today's video. We can improve our lives and, in the most surprising ways, change our relationships by adopting Stoic principles. Join me as we examine how to become a beacon of self-sufficiency and contentment, instead of playing games or planning every step so that they will miss you. Your support means the world to us, as usual. You can make a big difference by simply clicking the subscribe button. It's a modest but impactful gesture. We ask that you please stick with us through the entire video, as each section has been thoughtfully designed to help you move toward a stoic and more rewarding way of living. It's quite easy to get caught up in the trap of looking outside of ourselves for approval in our pursuit of contentment and happiness. Particularly in the context of interpersonal relationships, we frequently gauge our value based on the responses, viewpoints, and attention we get from others. However, what if I told you there is a longer-lasting, more powerful route to happiness? The Stoic approach encourages us to accept the feelings and acts of others and to concentrate on the things we can control, such as our thoughts, actions, and reactions. This does not imply a lack of emotion or indifference. It's more about realizing that genuine contentment and self-worth originate from the inside rather than from the attention or acceptance of others. When we base our happiness on someone else's desire or lack thereof, we are ceding our authority. Our reactions to their behavior or lack thereof cause us to experience an emotional roller coaster. But Stoicism gives us the means to get off this roller coaster. Wisdom, courage, justice, moderation, and other qualities help us to develop a strong, resilient character that takes pride in personal growth and accomplishments. This does not imply that we should become reclusive or cease to care for other people. Emotional resilience, not emotional detachment, is what Stoicism promotes. It inspires us to build wholesome, fulfilling relationships based on understanding and respect for one another rather than neediness or reliance. Furthermore, when we put self-improvement first, we inevitably attract and fascinate people more. Individuals who exude confidence, have a strong sense of purpose in life, and are happy with who they tend to attract others. Ironically, therefore, the less we concentrate on making someone miss us, the more probable it is that they will, as we are leading the most genuine, finest lives possible. Let's begin reorienting our attention from pursuing approval to nourishing our inner selves. Let's devote time to picking up new abilities, discovering pastimes, and refining our sense of self and values. We become more admirable and, yes, missable in the eyes of others as a result of this self-improvement path, which is very rewarding in and of itself. Recall that the purpose of Stoicism is to serve as a reminder that our happiness and value are independent of our desires and connections, not to quell them. We can lead lives of true independence, contentment, and tranquility by firmly establishing our foundation on the tenets of Stoicism. Since true happiness can only be found within, let's adopt a Stoic mindset and concentrate on improving ourselves. To be Stoic means to recognize that we have power over how we respond to outside circumstances, even while we have no influence over the circumstances per se. This idea has enormous empowerment. It implies that we are in control of our emotional state, which gives us a free degree of autonomy. Stoicism holds that being emotionally resilient does not entail becoming emotionally numb or disengaged from the outside world. Rather, it's about recognizing our feelings, comprehending them, and choosing not to allow them to control how we behave. The Stoics advocated letting go of things we cannot control and concentrating on what we can. This is a path to emotional resilience, not just a method for achieving peace within. We develop a deep and useful sense of independence when we allow no external influences, such as other people's behavior or social norms, to affect our well-being. Being independent does not imply being alone. Conversely, it empowers us to interact with the outside world from a position of strength and confidence. Think about the idea of emotional toughness in regard to relationships. While we can love and care for people, Stoicism tells us that our happiness shouldn't depend on their presence or approval. Instead of relying on one another or being afraid of being alone, this viewpoint encourages us to establish relationships based on true connection and respect for one another. We can have meaningful connections without losing ourselves in them by developing emotional resilience. Furthermore, the focus placed by Stoicism on embracing life's ups and downs and living in harmony with nature strengthens our capacity for emotional resilience. It serves as a reminder that the only thing that is constant in life is change, and our capacity to deal with it is what defines our strength. This flexibility results from actively pursuing our goals, ideals, and moral excellence rather than passively existing. How then do we foster this self-reliance and emotional fortitude? Self-awareness is the first step, involving regular introspection of our feelings, ideas, and reactions to the difficulties we face in life. It entails being grateful, living in the present, and doing things that are consistent with our basic beliefs. Most importantly, it makes us question our perceptions and consider if our emotional reactions are grounded in false beliefs from the past or in the facts of the present. By adopting Stoicism, we discover that we can weather life's storms by being our own lighthouse rather than looking to others for help. The experiences and knowledge of people who have gone before us strengthen our road towards emotional resilience and independence. We discover that when we apply Stoic principles to our lives, our capacity for happiness, our resilience in the face of adversity, and our capacity for harmonious relationships all increase dramatically. Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius were among the Stoic thinkers who frequently stressed the value of leading a life that is in harmony with both one's own nature and the nature of the cosmos. Fundamentally, this is about realizing and committing to what is important in life. For the Stoics, cultivating virtue, wisdom, and integrity is more meaningful than achieving material success or earning recognition and fortune. It's about building connections based on mutual respect and understanding, participating in the community, and serving the common good. Hence, developing a meaningful existence requires a thorough examination of our inner selves and challenging assumptions about our identity and values. It necessitates that we recognize our values and uphold them, despite difficulties or times when it would be simpler to just follow social norms. In this self-examination, Stoicism provides a compass by encouraging us to think about the motivations that underlie our acts as well. Are we motivated by a need for approval from others, or are we operating morally? Stoicism also emphasizes the value of concentrating on the things that are under our control and the transience of outside circumstances. It is a liberated perspective. It releases us from the oppression of attempting to control the uncontrollable and focuses our efforts on the areas of our own attitudes, decisions, and reactions to the outside world where we can actually affect real change. Thus, living a meaningful life is more about our way of life and the perspective we have on each day than it is about the accomplishments we make. Adopting a Stoic outlook on life also entails realizing that hardship and disappointment are inevitable aspects of being human. We can see them as chances for development, resiliency, and a greater comprehension of life's complexity rather than as barriers to our enjoyment. This does not imply that we actively seek out pain. Rather, it indicates that we derive significance from overcoming it, drawing lessons from it, and continuing on with a fortified will and a more loving heart. In actuality, making a meaningful life requires both large gestures and little, everyday actions. It's evident in the compassion we provide to others, the honesty with which we carry out our work, and the zeal with which we approach our goals. It's in the time we set apart to think about our role in the universe, to enjoy nature, to take care of ourselves, and to build relationships with others. Stoic ideas serve as the foundation for these deeds, which come together to create a well-lived tapestry. Remember, the Stoic way to a meaningful life is a common path that we walk together, encouraging one another with our collective wisdom and experiences. Stoicism serves as a fulcrum for our lives, giving us the strength to not just endure but also thrive in the face of adversity, finding happiness, meaning, and purpose along the way. The Stoics understood early on that our concentration on controlling the uncontrollable is the root cause of much of our irritation, worry, and even despair. We frequently spend a great deal of energy attempting to control events, results, and even other people, only to discover that a large portion of it is out of our control. This insight isn't meant to depress us, rather, it's designed to release us from the bonds we've put on ourselves that hold us back from achieving unrealistic goals. Accepting the advice of Stoicism to give up the need for control does not imply that we stop being active participants in our own lives. Instead, it's about concentrating our attention on our internal environment, which is the domain in which we can actually affect change. We truly have power in the areas of our perceptions, choices, and responses. Here is where we can develop qualities like tolerance, empathy, and fortitude. We can find serenity here. Stoic philosophy holds that letting go of control entails a profound acceptance of the way things naturally unfold. It's about realizing that our efforts and their results are two different things, and that although we can work to affect the former, the latter frequently eludes our direct control. This just puts effort in a more positive light, without diminishing its importance. We interact with life more fully and honestly when we let go of certain outcomes and connect our actions with our ideals. This Stoic approach also exhorts us to see every moment as a chance to cultivate acceptance and develop our understanding. It challenges us to reevaluate our ingrained convictions on security, prosperity, and control. By doing this, we frequently find that managing our inner landscape is where our genuine strength resides, rather than trying to control the outside world. Releasing yourself from the need for control practically implies accepting adaptability and flexibility. It entails having an open mind and an open heart while facing doubts head-on and having the fortitude to do so. It's about learning how to face life's obstacles head-on and see them as chances for development and self-awareness. We discover that our relationships get stronger, our stress levels go down, and our appreciation of the present moment rises when we apply the Stoic concept to our lives. We start to realize that inner harmony, balance, and acceptance are the keys to happiness instead of control. Stoicism teaches us that letting go of our need for control does not mean giving up our power, rather, it means regaining it in its most powerful form. It's a path to inner liberation that profoundly alters our understanding of and interactions with the outside world. As we set out on this adventure, we discover a life characterized by the internal validation of calm, resilience, and a profound, enduring sense of purpose rather than the outward validation of control. On concluding our examination of Stoicism and its profound lessons, it is evident that this age-old philosophy provides more than merely a system of ideas. It offers a lifestyle firmly based in discernment, fortitude, and tranquility. By teaching us to keep our attention on the important things in life, Stoicism helps us navigate life's ups and downs with poise and grace. The activities and techniques we have covered are not merely theoretical ideas, rather, they are useful instruments that we can incorporate into our everyday lives to turn obstacles into chances for development and comprehension. Adopting Stoicism teaches us to cherish and fully interact with the present moment, to recognize beauty and simplicity, and to cultivate relationships that are rich in virtue and meaning. It also teaches us to detach from the results that are out of our control. It's about creating an inner haven of calm that endures through whatever storms may blow through. A life free from hardship or suffering is not what this path towards Stoic living promises. Rather, it offers something far more precious. The fortitude to face hardship head-on, the discernment to make morally right decisions, and the peace of mind to accept the things we cannot alter. It shows us that even though we might not be able to control the outside environment, we still have the ability to influence how we see the world and behave. We see that our views on fulfillment, prosperity, and happiness start to change when we apply Stoic ideas to our daily lives. We learn that living in line with our own beliefs and virtues is the path to true fulfillment, rather than obtaining accolades or material belongings from the outside world. And the secret to a deeply meaningful and joyful existence is contained in this realization. I appreciate you traveling with me to Stoic Journal, where traditional wisdom and contemporary living collide. Together, let's keep exploring and developing. I encourage you to see one of the recommended videos on the screen for additional insights. Until we meet again, always keep in mind that the trip within is the most important one of all.